Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive right in and see how the modern AI yacht ecosystem completely eliminates the guesswork of vessel management using undeniable data. We are looking at a massive, massive leap forward in maritime technology today. We're finally moving away from relying on someone's word or a hunch and moving toward a reality where every single system on a vessel is tracked, quantified, and accessible. Whether you're using a yacht for your own private escapes or you're managing a massive commercial fleet, this data-driven approach is literally changing the game.
You know that universal anxiety of yacht ownership? Leaving a multi-million-dollar asset totally unattended? It's a terrifying thought, right? You lock up, you walk down the dock, you head home, and boom, what actually happens next? Well, before this digital ecosystem, the answer was basically a giant question mark. You just kind of had to cross your fingers and hope that everything stayed exactly how you left it.
So, here is our roadmap for today. We're looking at the end of paper logbooks, peace of mind for owners, protecting charter company assets, controlling driving style, and lastly, energy management and dispute resolution. All right, let's jump into part 1, the end of paper logbooks.
Think about the old way of doing things, somebody just scribbling numbers in a paper book, super prone to human error. But now, the AI ecosystem completely takes over. It automatically tracks the exact fuel burned, precise RPMs, and engine hours over literally any chosen period of time. So instead of relying on manual entry and blind trust, you've got this completely objective, unalterable digital truth.
Moving right along to part 2, peace of mind for owners.
For private owners, this establishes an absolute baseline of security. You don't have to lie awake worrying about some unseen voltage drop in the network while the boat's parked, or that absolute worst-case scenario where a bilge pump unexpectedly activates. The mobile app acts as your 24/7 digital watchman. You get instant online alerts for those critical offline events, whether you're a few miles away or in a totally different country. Talk about removing the anxiety of the unknown.
Now, having peace of mind when the boat is just parked at the dock is fantastic. But what happens when you raise the stakes and hand over your vessel to a total stranger? That changes the entire dynamic. It's one thing to monitor an empty boat, it's a completely different challenge to monitor a boat being actively driven by someone who doesn't own it.
Which brings us to part 3, protecting charter company assets. To really optimize business processes, the system creates this foolproof timeline. First up, the handover. The app locks in the precise before state, documenting that, yep, it was handed over with full fuel, full water, fully charged batteries, and all the provisions. Next, during operation, it's using online GPS broadcasts and geofences to track exactly where the boat goes. And finally, when it returns, it documents the after state. This means resolving disputes over a deposit return is entirely fact-based.
Let's look at part 4, controlling the driving style.
This is where the ecosystem acts like a high-tech detective, tracking the client's actual driving style. If a charter client decides to play the role of a reckless renter, well, the data reveals it. It monitors peak loads, the exact RPMs they push those engines to, and crucially, the frequency and harshness of reversing maneuvers. If someone is just constantly slamming that boat into reverse, putting immense and potentially damaging strain on the gearbox, the charter company gets a permanent record of it. You really can't hide a heavy hand on the throttle anymore.
All right, part 5, energy management and dispute resolution.
Now let's talk power. The ecosystem tracks the exact power control metrics. It verifies if the client actually bothered to plug into shore power at the marinas and exactly how long they recharge the system. You know this is a massive point of contention in yacht charters. Renters will swear they plugged the boat in, but somehow the batteries are dead? Not anymore. The system logs the exact duration of the connection to the shore outlet, giving you continuous overall power control monitoring for the entire trip.
And that definitively answers every yacht owner's worst nightmare. Did the renter abuse the system and drain the batteries entirely to zero? Because draining those massive marine battery banks to absolute zero severely damages their lifespan, and it costs an absolute fortune to replace them. By tracking the energy management so closely, the charter company knows immediately if the renter just neglected the power systems and let them flatline.
So take all of this sensor data and imagine it compiled into one comprehensive final picture, spanning the typical 1 to 2 weeks of the charter. Every single drop of fuel, every GPS coordinate, every RPM spike, and every shore power connection is gathered seamlessly over that whole rental period.
Because you have this definitive final report, it literally eliminates all the arguments. Charter companies can clearly and super quickly resolve any deposit disputes based purely on facts. When a client rolls up after 2 weeks and demands their full deposit back, the charter manager doesn't even need to argue. They simply pull up the report, The sensors tell the exact story of how the client treated the vessel. If the gearbox was abused or the batteries were totally drained, it is right there in black and white.
With this level of complete transparency protecting fleets and private owners alike, it really leaves us wondering what the future of boating holds. We've officially moved from a world of manual paper logs and blind trust to an era where every action is recorded by an AI ecosystem. Whether it's a private owner keeping an eye on their bilge pumps from a continent away, or a commercial charter company protecting their fleet from gearbox damage, the data is just undeniable. It really makes you think, in the era of smart yachts, can bad seamanship ever be hidden again?